All right, what is up, guys? It's Rahul. We're gonna do a quick little, not like a recap, but like a meta what I expect this weekend in Daytona, and I guess this bleeds into Hartford also. I'll probably do a different one for Hartford just because whatever happens this weekend will kind of change the metagame moving forward. Um, because someone can come up with some crazy decks. I think the biggest two decks to worry about for this weekend are Zorgarb and RGs. I think they both have their own incredible potential and expanded. And they're both two decks that outclass every other deck, I feel like, in the format because they are the best at doing what they do consistently. Um, that being said, I think Pikachu Zekrom is a close third. I don't think there's a right way to build a list yet because we saw two decks in top eight last time, but both of the lists were very different. One played like a Cassius and like a pair of Jolteons, and the other was just like a very straightforward build. So I don't think there's a right way to build it yet, but Pikachu Zekrom does seem really good into this current format. Then let's go to, I guess, a little lesser known sleeper picks that are like tier 2 and I think have the potential to win the tournament if they hit the right matchups. Um, I think Hitmonchan is the top of my tier 2 list because the deck just employs a lot of Wobbuffets, and those Wobbuffets can make it really, really tough for anybody to do anything. Um, but that being said, their damage output is very limited, so it's not like they themselves are doing anything. Um, it's more like we're both not doing anything, but I'm better at not doing anything because all I need is an energy to hit and run. Um, and the second deck in the tier 2 category I want to put is Celosaur. Celosaur was a deck that didn't previously exist and expanded. Not much in standard either at the time, and I kind of will take a little bit of credit on this one where I rocked into Greensboro with an expanded list that played a lot of supporters and chunk full of stuff, and I performed top 32 because I didn't hit that many Archies, but the deck does have a very good Archies matchup, but now that Archies does play Kingdra, it does get a little bit worse for it, becomes a lot more even. The list that I played was not tailored to deal with turbo stuff, it was more tailored to deal with like Trev and Zoroark and like healing and yada yada, but Azul posted a really cool list, an adaptation of mine, and I think you should check that out, and there's a lot of other adaptations out online with wobs and stuff. So if you think the deck is cool and you want to play it, be my guest. I think it's a good matchup against two of the big three. You do lose to Pikazak pretty hard, which is a little bit of a turnoff for a deck, but all things considered, I think that's still fine. Um, I think the other one of the big like fringe decks that I think has the potential to do really really well this weekend is Rayquaza. We saw Jeff Chris take it to a ninth place finish, and Jose Morero take it to a day 2 finish. It's just like a turbo Ray where you just do a bunch of stuff, get a bunch of energies onto the board. It's still like a deck that's good at doing what it's supposed to do. Um, the problem is like I don't know if it really has a real bad matchup. Um, Garbodor decks are probably really bad. Um, yeah, the Garbodor decks are probably really bad, but otherwise I think it's a pretty good deck. Um, I'm a huge fan of it. You big good friends with Jeff and Jose, and I like hear them talk about it. I played against them a couple times, and the deck I think is really cool. Um, and then I also put Drampagarb in the category of fringe. I put Drampagarb here even though it won the last regionals because I think the deck isn't like super powerful. I think Sigalith like won a lot of players' games because they didn't know what to do against it because you see Sigalith, you're like, ah crap, like what do I do? Um, but I don't think it's like one of those decks that you just kind of expect, to pop off on you. It's like you know what you're dealing. You know exactly what you're dealing with, in terms of like what they can do to you, which is fine. So that covers off my T2 decks. I think we're gonna now go to the decks that I would be very shocked to win the tournament, but I think they're still decks. Like it's not like you can't worry about them. I think they're decks that like I never ever expect you to win the tournament with these decks. But It's like they're still cards and they still do stuff, and it's not they're not bad cards by any means. Is what I'm trying to say. Trevenant Break. Trevenant Break popped off in Toronto. We had literally like a million of them make day two, and then like a bunch made top eight, and then nobody won. That is the epitome of Trevenant. No matter how many play it, no matter how many do well with it, it is very hard to win with because the deck is a theme deck. You attach, you attack. Doesn't do much beyond that. That is why I personally don't like it, but it is good. Like it's can cheese games a turn one, and that's why I think it's still like a potential play. And the people who play Trev will continue to play Trev. I think I would not play it, but I would be very shocked to see it win. And yeah, the second of the fringe decks is Vespiquen / Night March. I think both these decks are very good decks. I'm a perpetrator of someone who's played Vespiquen over and time again, but there's been a lot of hate recently for it after Toronto, where it won regionals. There was a lot of hate there too, and I don't really know how it ended up taking the title, but there's like a lot of hate right now for one prize decks like that, and I think it's really risky to play it in to a field where like you can expect a lot of the Zora Garbs to be playing Oricorio. You can expect a lot of the Archie Stoices to be playing the Silent Lab plus Big Whale combo. You can expect they're playing Articuno also, and you can expect like Celosaurus to play Karen. If you're Flare, you don't have to worry too much because you're the fire typing. Um, I think Pika's X the only deck that doesn't have a real answer to you, but they don't. They're playing like a one of Zapdos or two of Zapdos, and they have the Jolteon EX if you're playing Night March to just Cassius their board away and go pop, pop, pop. Um, so every deck has like some form of an answer to these decks, and it's like in the back of everyone's mind. Like I've lost a Night March like all of 2016. I've lost a Vespiquen far too long. Like I need to have an answer, and it doesn't make any sense. I'll be honest in these formats, but people are playing it. People are dedicating one, two, maybe even three deck slots to deal with this deck. Um, Very strangely so, but yeah. Um, Another fringe deck is Zoroark Control and Expanded. I think Zoroark Control is a tier 3 deck because it lost Delinquent and Lusamine. We saw one do kind of well um, in Greensboro. I think he got 17th. I'm pulling it up right now. And his deck was kind of cool. But that also being said, like, the deck doesn't really handle Pikachu Zekrom pretty well. It doesn't deal with, like, cards like those. And it does stumble at the finish line. You lose Delinquent. You can't control people's hands. You can't deal with, like, big, bad threats that are coming at you. It's not like you have an answer to everything, you know? It's not like this. Not the old Zoro control of old, where you could just Quaking Punch, take a million turns, and then figure it out from there. It's a different format without the cards that you're missing. There was the Egg Splat deck that Eric Smith and uh, Frank Persic both played. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot Frank. And they played this Alolan Executor deck that was kind of cool, revolving around the Egg Splat. So you like get all your eggs, discard all your eggs, get all your eggs, discard all your eggs. Kind of cool. Not really good against Muck. Nobody really does play Muck though. Um, yeah, it was a cool deck. He played like counter energy stuff, and with the new Ditto from Detective Pikachu, that could be even better. Because you have counter energy, so you can copy their attack, and hopefully, if it's 2 energy, you can use it well. The deck was cool. I liked their deck. I think they were all folded circuitry though. Unfortunately, that's why I think it's a fringe deck. And then I'm gonna just categorize fighting as its own entity and put it in this tier 3 category. Be it Lucario, be it Buzzwole, be it like Lycanroc something. Because fighting is a very good archetype, and fighting will do what it needs to do. You have Karina, you have Beastring, you have this engine with Max Elixir that does a ton of damage and has a ton of potential to do things. But the problem is your Archie's matchup is really, really bad. And your Archie's matchup is like it's not a salvageable matchup. It's not that you can include tech cards to deal with it. It's like really, really bad. And like if you're playing fighting, I think objectively Hitmonchan is the best fighting deck that exists. Every other deck kind of just like feels bad. Also, like it just isn't good. I played against a Buzzwole, like an old school Buzzwole over in Greensboro, and the deck seemed like okay, but it still has the same problems where you're relying on Octillery for your draw engine, and if you don't play Octillery, then like your Karina engine is a little bit slow, and so it depends on like how many Karinas are you playing, how many Sycamores are you playing, can you draw through your deck fast enough to hit your B strings, your max elixirs, can you set up without, you know, losing. And Zorak Garbodor will guard block you pretty early. And so they can make it to the point where like you will miss your B string turn. You will miss the crucial important turns to you. And if you do end up playing a lot of items, which you don't normally do with a deck like that, Garbodor exists. So in theory, you have a good Zorogarb, Trampagarb, and Pikazek matchup, but you have a really bad matchup against the fringe decks, and I think you have a really bad matchup against like Celosaur, Archies, Night March, Vespiquen, Trevenant's real bad. Like it's literally an auto loss. I think. I think Hitmonchan's really bad too because they just one prize you. Rayquaza seems awful for you. So a lot of the top decks are not good matchups, and I don't think you can go and being like, I'll take losses to half the field. That being said, the tournament's tomorrow. I'm currently on the mindset that I will play something turbo and aggressive, and just get in your face kind of thing, like Pikachu Zekrom or Rayquaza or Archies. I think are my top three right now. I'm just gonna put Bees as a 3.5 because it's always, always, always a play for me. Um, so I haven't decided yet. I want to get to the venue and test a little bit tonight. I have some school work to get done, so I won't head over until the evening, and I have to pick up some people from the airport. But I think I'll be playing something turbo. I won't be playing something that's passive for this event. I think I'd rather be the one with the questions than the one with the answers, and that's how I've always felt in the expanded format. Um, so yep, thank you guys for watching. If you are headed to Daytona this weekend, good luck. If you're headed to Hartford and just want to see what's happening this weekend, stay tuned. Critical Hit GG is going to be streaming. Um, yeah, I think that wraps it up. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. I will be doing more full-time content after I graduate in like 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys so much.